Hello everyone, if you didn't know, it is Pride Month, and believe it or not, it has nothing to do with the Lion King. What? I know, right? I was just as surprised as you are, but yeah, no lions here. It's just a whole bunch of gays. And well, since we're here, I might as well talk about some of my favorite LGBTQ plus representatives in games. And no, not the boring real life gays who talk about the games, the exciting fictional gays who are inside the games. So without further ado, here's a poorly thought out list of a bunch of rainbow loving so-and-sos in video games. Right off the bat, I've got a bit of a cheeky entry for you for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that it's two people. I'm talking about Caitlyn and Vi from League of Legends. Well, Caitlyn and Vi from Arcane, which is another reason why it is cheeky, since, to my understanding, Arcane is not the canonical League of Legends lore. Yet. Let's keep campaigning for that because it's amazing so far. But yeah, my third and final reason why this is a cheeky entry is that even in Arcane, neither Vi or Caitlyn has done anything that technically 100% confirms their lesbianism. But seeing as none of us are stupid, they are clearly into each other, and the story is no doubt heading that way. But what can I say? I love them. They're great. Check out Arcane on Netflix if for some reason you haven't already, and enjoy some video game gays. Video gays, as they're called. I made that up. They aren't actually called that. Oh, and if you thought I had one too many cheeks to my cheekiness this entry, then just pretend I said Graves and Twisted Fate. Both also from League of Legends and recently confirmed as a gay couple in the canonical lore. So yeah, take that. But next up, I've got Liara from Mass Effect, and I'm getting these out of the way because this is yet another sort of cheeky entry. Seeing as Liara is not queer in the way we typically understand, her being an alien and all. She also is part of an all-female race, so yeah, hetero was never an option. But interestingly enough, your custom Commander Shepard can hook up with Liara whether they are male or female. So even though there are no men in her race, Liara is not ruling out a good old-fashioned bucket of testosterone. So we might not be sure what Liara is in terms of her sexuality, but I think it's fair to say she's definitely something. But enough of my cheekiness and technicalities. The canonical true gays are on the ways. Never fear, the queers are here. Boom, it's Soldier 76 from Overwatch. This one's great because I feel like we just woke up one morning and Blizzard was just randomly like, you know what? Soldier's gay, I think they just felt it in their bones. And you like it because it kind of bucks the stereotypes. Not that there's anything wrong with being classically flamboyant, but it was great to take the grizzled old military energy man and be like, yeah, he happens to be gay, it's dope. You gotta love it. Like literally, I think you've gotta love it, or like Twitter cancels you or something. So yeah, something to think about. Every time you kill a Soldier 76 player in Overwatch, it's a hate crime. I don't make the rules, but moving on. Next up, I've got Judy Alvarez from Cyberpunk 2077. Another lesbian. How many lesbians are on the list? It's a lot because lesbians are easier for insecure straight men to digest. But yes, Judy is a lesbian character whom you can share a nice swim and an intimate night with in Cyberpunk 2077. If your character is male, she will turn your bum ass down. On a separate note, I'm more of a Pan Am man myself, but that's neither here nor there. Play Cyberpunk 2077. It's great. It's always on sale because they botched the fucking launch, and let's move on. Next up, it's a he, it's a she, no, it's a they. Testament from Guilty Gear is a non-binary character. If you don't know what non-binary means, it basically translates to we're all allowed to think they're hot. And think they're hot, I do. You see, Testament existed a long time ago in way older Guilty Gear games, and Testament even back then, was a very androgynous character. I think the only nod towards their gender back then was that they were referred to as the adoptive son of another character, son obviously usually denoting male. But in the latest Guilty Gear game, Testament is back better than ever and is confirmed as a non-binary Grim Reaper. So it would seem Testament did some soul searching in their off time, and they came back with a new sense of identity and legs for days. Anyway, our next homo homie is Tiny Tina from Borderlands. Now, for a time it was assumed and then confirmed that Tina was written as a lesbian character. However, in Borderlands 3, when Tina is older, there's a voice memo or whatever that you can find revealing Tina had an ex-boyfriend, seemingly confirming that she is in fact now a bisexual character. Now, some fans were disappointed only because the only prominent lesbian character, being Tina in the Borderlands series, was taken away from them and now written as a bisexual character, despite the fact that there are other bisexual characters already in the franchise like Mad Moxie. So I do feel your pain on that one, lesbian folk, but as a consolation, I think this change does in a way illustrate the fluidity of sexuality and the evolution of self-discovery that comes with it, you know? Just because you said you were something at one point doesn't mean you always have to be that. That last thing was more for real life than it was character writing, but let's just move on. Tiny Tina might not be a lesbian, but you know who is? Ellie from The Last of Us, and she's been gay since a youth. But we only got to see the full power of her gayness in The Last of Us Part 2, where her and her partner Dina take care of their adopted Asian baby. Now, if that's not the most lesbian thing possible, I don't know what is. The first time we got to see Ellie kiss a girl and like it was in the Left Behind DLC for The Last of Us Part 1, but ever since Part 2, she's been a bona fide gay gaming icon. But up next is an icon from way back and definitely one of my favorites. It's Poison from Street Fighter. Poison is an officially confirmed post-operation trans female, and this is one of the oldest showcases of LGBTQ plus representation that I can recall. Certainly the oldest trans inclusion that I personally can recall. I'm not saying it's the oldest, just the oldest one I can remember in a game. One thing I've always liked about Poison is that she isn't just trans, she's also like basically the baddest bitch ever, right? I've always felt like that communicates to other real life trans females that you can and do look beautiful as the woman you are, you know? Like that's the messaging behind it. It's not like they try to purposely make Poison unappealing in order to discourage the community or turn her into a joke character like the notion of being transgender is some wacky cartoonish thing. They didn't do any of that, and I think she's a really positive character because of it, even when she's whipping the shit out of you. But now, shifting the focus back to the boys who like boys, we've got Emile from Nier Replicant. And yes, I know Replicant is a remake of the old game, but I didn't play that, I played Replicant, so you'll just have to deal with it. I like this Emile one because the way we come to understand it is so fitting of Emile's character. He comes off very quiet, timid, and soft-spoken, but he's also caring and even excitable at times. You know, he's just a charming character the majority of the time, and you really have no reason to think anything about Emile's sexuality until he makes a comment about wanting to be a bride rather than a groom.
I'm just so excited about the wedding that I can't settle down. I bet it's gonna have streamers and dancing and bears on unicycles and everything. I'm sorta jealous. I wish I was Vera.
You'll find a nice bride someday, Emile.
Huh? Oh, right. Bride.
You must be tired indeed if you misunderstood that simple social nicety.
Yeah, that's not exactly it.
The scene immediately raised my eyebrow, and when looking into it, you can find that the game's creative director, Yoko Taro, did in fact confirm that Emile is gay. I wish I knew why I love this little tidbit so much, but I'm not really sure. Honestly, the character would be fine without this fact, but it just fits him so well if you ask me. But whatever. The next one is easily one of my favorite gaming waifus, and it is Tracer from Overwatch. Yes, we're back on Overwatch. Cheers, love, the L words are here. That's right, Tracer is a lesbian, but everybody knows that, so you might be thinking, how can she be your waifu if she's gay? If she were real, she wouldn't even like you. Well, she's not real, and a man can dream, so I will forever love Tracer. but seriously, Tracer has an amazing design that is instantly eye-catchingly appealing, which is why she's the Overwatch box art darling, and I love seeing all the little art of her with her girlfriend Emily. Tracer's great, what can I say? And now, moving on to the last thing I want to mention is the entire roster of Apex Legends, because they're all gay. That's obviously a joke, but there is a bunch of queer representation in this game. Nearly a third of the current roster, as of this recording, is some sort of rainbow warrior. Valkyrie is a lesbian, Gibraltar is gay, Loba is bisexual, Bloodhound is non-binary, and both Seer and Fuse are pansexual. And although it's technically unconfirmed as of yet, I think we'd all be surprised if Bangalore was straight. What's funny is that no one we assume to be straight in Apex is actually confirmed to be. So my joke that everyone is gay might not have just been a joke. But you know what, actually, this is funny. Just yesterday, there was an animated short centered around Lifeline for Apex, and it did confirm a former male love interest of hers. So there you go, a win for the straights. But until next time, I am Waifu Belector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I say no homo every time I play Apex. Goodbye.